Hi everybody and welcome back to another Legends of Runeterra video and gameplay. Today I have a fun deck that's called Warmother Braum. This is a meme deck. It's just meant to keep things sort of lighthearted and fun. If you're thinking of playing the game in a different way, this is definitely one of those ways. We're running Braum in a deck with Warmother's Call. Warmother's Call is a pretty interesting card, not used very often, but has a pretty powerful effect. It is summon the top ally card from your deck at the start of each round. Now this can be super powerful. I guess the downside to this card is that it is 12 mana to play it. It's really expensive, and so the idea of this deck is to be kind of a mana ramp as well. And so we're running a full set of Catalyst of Aeons as well as the Wolf Rider. Each of them give you an empty mana gem at the start of next round. And so we were able to play our bigger units earlier, as well as if we draw Warmother's Call, we can play this on an earlier turn, providing that we have played those other two cards to get more mana gems. So you'll notice as well in this deck we have a lot of cards with only one copy, and the reason for that is we don't really want to oversaturate our deck with a lot of expensive cards, which is useful when you have the Warmother's Call. But we don't want to have a ton of these cards. If we don't pull Warmother's Call, we'll have all of our hand full of these expensive cards that we won't be able to play. And so to kind of mitigate that, we have only one copy of a lot of them. So Tryndamere, Captain Farron, Scarmother, Vrina, Minotaur Reckoner, Darius, Cato the Arm, Avarice and Sentry, and the Rime Tusk Shaman. Now, if you want to kind of switch out the units that you have in your deck, you're more than welcome to ones that you like better. I also decided to pair this Freljord deck with Noxus because of the kind of cards that are in it, such as Darius and Captain Farron and Cato the Arm. If you have another region that you would prefer, you're more than welcome to include that region instead. So it kind of has a lot of variability in the region that you can select as your secondary region. So early game, what we want to do, of course, is provide a board state that allows us to get plunder off when we have the Wolf Rider. And so we have a couple of early game cards, such as the Ember Maiden and Crimson Disciple. Both are really good at damaging the enemy nexus, both on defensive turns and offensive turns. And Transfusion is a good way to activate that as well. We're also running a full set of Ruthless Raider, who has Overwhelm. She is an early card that not a lot of other cards have the ability to block into without her Overwhelm damaging the Nexus a little bit. We also are running a full set of Avarice and Sentry. He's the only real card draw option that we have in this deck. If you want, you could possibly change him out with Shared Spoils, depending on what you like. The reason why I want Avarice and Sentry in my deck instead of Shared Spoils is that because we are running Warmother's Call, we want more units than spells in the deck. Shared Spoils could definitely have a more, you could put that into a deck and have it work fine. Some of the other spells that we have in this deck are Elixir of Iron, Take Heart, and Bloodsworn Pledge. All of those are to help buff our units, help them survive a little bit better, and be able to keep our board state a little bit healthier. One other thing that you need to be careful about is when Braum is leveled up, he summons a Mighty Poro. So you don't want to have your board completely full of these Mighty Poros when you play Warmother's Call, because Warmother's Call will summon a unit that will be automatically destroyed. It won't. If you have 6 units on the board, you won't place a summoned unit from Warmother's Call. Just be aware of that. That's about it for this deck. It is super fun. You should try it out. If you have any other suggestions for cards you would like to see put into decks and played in either competitive or non-competitive format, go ahead and let me know. Like and subscribe if you enjoyed this video, and we'll see you tomorrow. Thanks.
Alright, so we're trying out our Warmother Braum deck here, and I'm going against a Swain Vlad deck with Demacia. So one thing that I'm worried about in this deck automatically is tough units, so things like Ranger Resolve and Chain Vest. And I was okay with the Ruthless Raider, so I just switched out the Take Heart, and I fortunately got some more mana ramp in it with the Wolf Rider. and I already had the Catalyst Aeon in hand. My early game is looking pretty good here at the moment. I just drew a Braum, and so I've got plays for turn 3 and turn 4 and turn 5 at this point. I'm not too worried about that. Alright. I was okay taking this. I wasn't expecting the Radiant here. But I was okay with him using the mana. Alright, I'm going to play Avros and Sentry here. My main goal in this deck is to draw the Warmother's Call, so I want to draw it. More card draw is good. I'm considering playing the Braum here, but I'm also considering just attacking so I could play the Wolf Rider, because a lot of people won't just block into the Avros and Sentry. He ends up blocking into it, which I'm okay with as well because I get to draw a card.
Routes closed. Your path ends here.
And I end up pulling the Crimson Disciple, which is a good card and will help me enable Plunder down the road if I need to.
Oh, I can't wait.
This land is ours.
I ultimately decided not to play the Braum there, just because I wanted to get more units down. He also didn't have a unit with any attack damage, so I couldn't get any I couldn't get the Mighty Poro off by blocking with Braum. He ends up playing the Vladimir anyway, which I'm okay with because he would have killed Braum, and so I wouldn't have gotten much value out of it anyway, so it ended up being okay. Now he attacks with the Vladimir here after I played the Avarosan Hearthguard here, so I know automatically he's got a spell. I'm not going to block into the Vlad with my big unit. I know what he's going to do. Like, if anyone does this, you know they've got a spell in hand. There's no reason to block into that. I'm considering blocking with one of my other 2 units though. Ultimately, I decided it's not worth it.
Stand and defend.
I think this guy was really expecting me to block into the Vlad though, because he takes forever here to decide if he wants to use the spell on his catapult. So I'm just, you know. Okay, he does. That's kind of a win for me because he wastes a spell on a card with no attack, so I'm fine with that. And we pass for the next round. So this is going to be kind of annoying dealing damage each round. I was considering doing an open attack, but ultimately decided not to. He's got a lot of mana that he could just use with some spells to save his units. And he's dealing a lot of damage to me early on. I'm basically on the defensive this entire game.
For the glory of Noxus.
Today we fight as one.
Leave nothing standing.
Delicious.
And I'm trying to get some damage onto the enemy nexus just so I can play my Wolf Rider and get my mana ramp going.
Your path ends.
So I attack with all my units here so that he can't block all of them. So I'm able to get my Wolf Rider down here if I want to.
Oh, this hurts.
I wasn't expecting the standalone. That's a card that's not used very often, and it worked out really well for him in this case, in this deck, because now his Vlad is huge. And I got my extra mana here. Also nice. We're getting kind of to late game though, so I don't have a I don't have a lot of cards that I really benefit from having more mana right now. But if I draw the Warmother's Call, then I'll be able to play that as soon as I draw it, which is nice.
Delicious. Bottoms up.
Ready the torches.
Alright, so I knew that he was going to have a spell there to either protect himself or, you know, I didn't want to block him with my bigger units, so I blocked him and got some extra card draw, and I got Captain Farron with it, so I was pretty happy with that. Now what this allows me to do is present a lot of damage right to his face, and so he is now put on a clock. And Captain Farron is now also threatening his Vladimir, and he knows that. I'm keeping Catalyst of Aeons as a backup at this point for like surprise, I guess, heal in case he can get lethal on me. I don't want to use that super early right now, especially since I don't have any cards that benefit from me having mana ramp at the moment. So I'm going to kind of keep it as a surprise in case he has some sort of sneaky card.
Sure, waste my time. Manners make it, my boy.
And I got my last Avarosan Sentry.
Nothing escapes my watch.
We're just waiting for him. It's annoying that he has the tough on the Curator, because he can basically get infinite card creations from it. So I'm just waiting for him to play or attack here.
Do they need our help?
So my main thought process behind this attack was that I wanted to get him into a point where I could get lethal with the Decimates. And so I wasn't really worried. I needed to attack this round, and I knew that. So I wanted Braum to target the Vlad so that he couldn't block it into my Captain Farron, because I wanted to get a lot of damage off with him.
Fine, fine.
Real tough, aren't you?
Sometimes icy heart just needs warm smile.
So now he's kind of in Decimate range. I have enough damage with my Decimates to be able to kill him in 2 rounds if I need to. And I kind of luckily drew another Braum there. Okay. He's putting a little bit more pressure on me too. He has Drain as well now that Vlad is leveled up. And now he's got the Swain down as well. I was kind of surprised that Swain wasn't leveled up by this point in the game. But I guess he hadn't done quite enough damage, or non-combat damage, to be able to level him up. But that's kind of surprising considering the type of cards that he had in this deck.
Delicious. Bottoms up.
Alright. And I attacked with Captain Farron, or blocked with him there because I could protect him a little bit. Just to get rid of the Vlad. He was really big at this point.
Sometimes icy heart just needs warm smile.
And like I said, he's on a clock because of the Decimates, and he knows it. We forced the single combat out of him. That's really nice. It's going to kill Captain Farron. That's okay, because I take out most of his units in the process here. He's only got 1 card left. And I keep 2 of my own alive here.
Bleed for Noxus. Empire above all.
Also good.
Noxus lives on.
After all these centuries.
Okay, we heal ourselves with the Catalyst of Aeons here. And we're just going to attack. I'm not super worried about him having cards that can deal with me right now. He's only got 2. He's used a lot of them already. So that's why I did the open attack.
My legacy.
And now we can start using our decimates now that he's out of cards.
Smell that barg? Fear.
Sure, waste my time.
Now we're just both kind of top decking here, and he really doesn't have anything that he's going to be able to do against me anymore, unless he got something like a lucky judgment here.
Fine.
But even then, even if he has the judgment, I've got cards to block, and I can finish him off this round with
Tear
decimate.
them apart.
This was basically a win at this point. I couldn't see anything that he would have that would be able to beat me, so. Unfortunately, I didn't draw Warmother's Call this game, but it kind of showed the utility of Captain Farron in a deck and kind of what he provided. He did a lot of damage and did a lot of work in this deck, considering there's only 1 of him. So it was a pretty good game. There was a lot of pressure on me to win, and I ultimately did.